Hi guys, welcome to V Spectre, and today we are joined by the wonderful Jazzy. Say hi, Jazzy.
Hello, hello, hello.
And then we have Classy. Classy, can we get a hello?
Hi.
And then last but certainly not least, we have the wonderful Ocean Eyes.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Today, Grim will not be joining us, but we will continue this podcast in his honor. Isn't that right?
Miku Fortnite real?
Miku Fortnite. Oh my gosh.
I love her. I legitimately, it's gonna sound quite pathetic. The number one thing I was looking forward to in my life was the possibility of Miku getting into Fortnite. It's all that made me wake up and smile. All that made me move the curtains back to see the sunlight was the possibility of this happening. And it happened. So you have no clue how little mental illness I have now. Life is good and I am set for it. I am so happy. She looks adorable. I love how they did her. I like that she's based on like Krypton's reference art. I love how goofy she looks. I love everything about her. She's perfect.
Yeah. I admittedly spent a little too much money on Fortnite than I'd like to admit. But particularly with Miku got me back on Fortnite. And I have no shame in admitting that because like bitch, I was sad. Like I heard Miku was coming to Fortnite and I was like, let me download this on my Nintendo Switch, okay?
When is her car coming out?
When is her car?
No clue when.
Oh, the
They showed
rocket
it.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm plugging myself. Y'all can't stop me.
Miku skin, Neko Hatsune Miku is like the cutest thing ever. I'm biased, I like the Bright Bomber variant, but I like just the overall skin as a whole.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like I like saw this and I was like, okay, Jazzy is like probably like shitting themselves right now.
I literally woke up to like 20 texts from people going check Twitter, and one person spoiled and went, "Oh my god, Miku Fortnite." I jumped out of that bed. For me to get out of bed, bitch, something has to be happening because I think if I was getting robbed, I would stay in that bitch. So I ran to my computer and started tweeting. I did die and I did shit my pants. So you had a correct hypothetical.
Like I'm just like, and then like Neko Miku, and I was like, okay, the Jazzy collab.
I thought it was gonna be Meowscles Miku, but it's even better. She's like a mix of like Ribbon Girl, Sakura Miku, Sing and Smile Miku, and then she has a cute cat hat, and I love it.
Oh god, the render.
The render, yes. But something else I want to mention about Miku Fortnite that's kind of not related to her, but my 8-year-old cousin plays Fortnite, and my roommate ordered in Miku. He's ever since he was 1 year old, he's been on that Miku shit because I got him on it.
As you fucking should.
And then I saw him today, and he literally ran up to me like, "Did you see the Fortnite Battle Pass?" And he said that the kids at his school are running around Miku beaming each other because of Fortnite, and that's crazy to me.
That's so real.
There's
like this on the playground.
There's so many people being introduced to Miku. Like I saw this one live streamer who made a video, like his YouTube channel was just about Fortnite. And it started with like I don't know who Miku is, but people are very excited about her. Go to his channel now and it's all Vocaloid content. It's just
so true.
Like I'm so happy about that. This is a very good introduction for many. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
As I think probably like the only non-Fortnite player in this chat, I feel like a little, just like the tiniest bit weird about Miku's model. It feels like her eyes kind of need to be bigger because the proportions are slightly off, but that is literally the only criticism I had. They did everything really, really good, and I keep hearing from my producer friends and a whole bunch of late rooms that play Fortnite that it's just fucking hilarious to like get a victory royale as Hatsune Miku because they all never knew that this would happen.
I do agree there is some flaws in the model and exactly what you said. I've seen some people like do their fix on it and it does truthfully look a little better. And when it first came out, I looked at her, still loved her immediately, but was like, ooh.
Luckily, this render looked horrible, and her in-game model looks better.
Yeah, exactly. And even when she's taken out of Fortnite, because people have extracted the model, she looks even better when taken out of this game. So I really think the mix of the cell shading, yeah.
But like truthfully, people really expected her to come out in the Project Diva model.
I was kind of one of them. I didn't think it was going to be the model, but I thought it was going to be heavily based on it. But in retrospect, it's probably good that it's not. I was somebody who wanted it, but I think we have Project Diva Miku, we have Project Sakai Miku, we have TDA Miku, good lord. We have so many Mikus. And it's like, if Fortnite just like based it on one of those, that'd probably be lame. Because now we have Fortnite Miku.
It would be so right.
Yeah. So in retrospect, I was wrong for that, and I love what they did.
And I also think like just like Miku's skins aside, the stuff that they added, like the jam tracks, like them adding "World Is Mine" actually caught me off guard. Like I genuinely didn't think that they would put it in the game, but they did, and it's amazing. But what's even more amazing is that for like the contrail, when you're diving out the battle bus, has like the glow sticks, and they like switch between all the Krypton Moid colors, and they have like holographic effects and spotlights next to you, and it's really cool. But then you have "World Is Mine" playing as you fly off the battle bus, and to my understanding, it plays until you land. So it starts from the first chorus. The longest I've had it go is nearly to the end of the second verse, almost into the second chorus. So yeah,
it's actually into. It's very cool.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to think, like the Miku Miku Beam emote is amazing. The Miku emote is also really good. Personally, I don't like doing the dancing emotes. I like doing the jam track emotes because there's a lot more like there's just something more interesting with having the music playing, or like having an isolated vocal with like take a Magical Cure Love Shot, for example. If I pick that jam track, go to vocals, then I have all the ad libs and the backing vocals in the background while Miku is singing, and it's really funny. But and speaking of jam tracks, I have beef. Okay, I have qualms with non-Daisy 2.0 enjoyers. Okay,
Daisy 2.0 is so fucking good though.
Right?
Yeah, I like it. I think I've said it before. Maybe I'm misusing this new word that I'm coining, that I'm like mashing together. But I think Daisy 2.0 is literal Vocalocast. Like it is just, it's a fun song. It's a fun song. It's not like, it's not the pinnacle of Vocaloid by no means, but it's a good song, you know? So, and it's fun. So I think people need to be a bit nicer when talking about it. I understand the tuning could have been better, but that's not, to me, that's not what makes or breaks a song. It definitely helps though. But like Daisy 2.0 as a whole is just really nice to enjoy. So I'm glad they added it to Fortnite. I don't verse almost into the second chorus. So yeah.
It's actually into. It's very cool.
Yeah. And like I'm trying to think. Like the Miku Miku Beam emote is amazing. The Miku emote is also really good. Personally, I don't like doing the dancing emotes. I like doing the jam track emotes because there's a lot more like there's just something more interesting with having the music playing, or like having an isolated vocal with like take a Magical Cure Love Shot, for example. If I pick that jam track, go to vocals, then I have all the ad libs and the backing vocals in the background while Miku is singing, and it's really funny. But and speaking of jam tracks, I have beef. Okay, I have qualms with non-Daisy 2.0 enjoyers. Okay.
Daisy 2.0 is so fucking good though.
Right?
Yeah, I like it. I think I've said it before. Maybe I'm misusing this new word that I'm coining, that I'm like mashing together. But I think Daisy 2.0 is literal Vocalocast. Like it is just, it's a fun song. It's a fun song. It's not like it's not the pinnacle of Vocaloid by no means, but it's a good song, you know. So and it's fun. So I think people need to be a bit nicer when talking about it. I understand the tuning could have been better, but that's not to me. That's not what makes or breaks a song. It definitely helps though. But like Daisy 2.0 as a whole is just really nice to enjoy. So I'm glad they added it to Fortnite. I don't think it was robbing any other songs of any opportunities, especially going forward. Since Miku is in the game now, it'll probably be a lot easier to get other Miku songs into the game. So we'll just have to see.
Because if you think about it, even though like Snoop was in the festival pass and just like other artists, they keep adding their music if it's relevant. And Miku definitely has relevant music, so it's probably inevitable.
Miku has a lot of relevant
It's
music.
on horizon. Everyone be ready.
I'm also excited to see more Miku skins.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what would absolutely kill me?
Ariana Grande got them.
What would?
What would absolutely kill me is if we got Miku Fiesta in Fortnite.
Need.
We
That'd be so much fun.
desperately need Miku Fiesta in Fortnite.
Threw me in a trash bag until Ia was born, and then they were like, "Ia needs a dad."
And then they took you out like you were like a full grown man. You're in your arms. You're like, this is yours now.
You were marinated. You were doing. You were marinated and let out of the bag, let out of the basement, perhaps specifically for you.
Yes.
Ayo Yamaha. Jazzy V7 win. Where's our V7 Jazzy voice? Okay.
Lord knows I need an update.
Okay, Yamaha. Let me speak to them real quick. Now, let's talk about Mayu, okay? Mayu Vocaloid AI. Come on. We can do it.
It would be
Mayu's good. We like Mayu.
We love Mayu.
Mayu.
We need our yandere back.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in this community that's a Mayu fan.
No, I love Mayu. She used to be my favorite.
Fan, but I definitely like her.
Yeah, real. Love her.
Fine.
It is. Also, on the topic of just Yamaha on the 20th anniversary, they did this fun thing where they interviewed a bunch of relevant or historical producers, voice providers, even companies. Yeah, and let them like say something. So if you ever want to check out this website, it's vocaloid.com/anniversary/message. We have messages from Watt, we have messages from First Place, messages from the Sakai team, Taiko Nantatsu team.
Dreamed right pop internet co. Like no tea, no shade, but like
No tea, no shade. I just kind of didn't see them. Internet Co. Yes, even, which is crazy.
SPS.
Dr.
yeah.
Yun, which we haven't seen in eons, commented.
Oh my god. Wait, did they get Hitmonbang? Because that would be funny.
Let me see.
I don't think they did. I think she wants nothing to do with. Oh, ew. I'm sorry.
Wow. Michi M, Pinocchio P. So many people. I'll read one message. Let's do Michi M. Since I'm with him. Oh, we'll read both. Pinocchio P said, "There are many things in this world that would not exist without Vocaloid. And among them is myself as Pinocchio P. I never thought that my life would become so much about Vocaloid. Congratulations on your 20th anniversary. I look forward to your continued support." Yes. Michi M said, "Congratulations on the 20th anniversary of Vocaloid. This year marks my 13th year, Jesus, as a Vocaloid producer. And it's only thanks to Vocaloid that I've been able to do this work up until now. I am truly grateful. Compared to the early days of Vocaloid, it has now become indistinguishable from a human singing voice. And I am amazed at how much technology has advanced. I look forward to continuing to release amazing tools that will amaze creators and inspire their creativity. God, I love this man." Woo! So that's just spectacular. They didn't do much else for the 20th anniversary, but we just wanted to make you feel old.
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
they
old
have-
every single day.
Yes.
Real.
Today Miku is 39 years old now. Feel old yet?
Now hold on.
The mouthing at mathin'. Come on.
No, it's just do it again. The day Miku actually becomes 39 years old is gonna be crazy, though.
The D
Mhm.
becomes 39, I will be rolling in my grave because I will probably not live past 60.
It's like I'm sitting there. I'm gonna be sitting there. I'm gonna be like having my granny cam be like, I remember when Miku got her Vocaloid free for her.
I remember when she turned 16.
The first
I
time.
remember when Len and Ren turned 14, and then I turned 14, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally Len. And then
Oh my god, look at the ugly ass child with his buck teeth going across the screen.
the flower, that's a very nice thing to say to her. Joking, though.
Wait, Unity
sorry,
Chan's
I'm-
here. I love Unity.
Oh my god, it's Unity Chan. She's cute, I guess.
Nobody ever really uses or cares about her, so
Nobody ever you cares about or fucking Akaza. Remember that other bitch that was on her box art?
oh, fair.
Who the fuck even was she?
Was she?
And then we have Miss Ia.
They have a timeline. Pronunciation's now clearer.
Oh, Miss Sweet Anne.
Released in 2011, it became globalized in one fell swoop, supporting a total of 5 languages.
See you. Come back to us,
Vocaloid
baby.
4, equipped with still popular features such as growl and cross synthesis.
Vocaloid 5 was not equipped with that at all.
Vocaloid 5, released in 2018, new features such as attack and release effects have improved workflow, and the editor now comes with virtual
Okay, there's a reason why this has the smallest selection.
Vocaloid 6, released in 2022, it is the first to feature the AI-based Vocaloid AI engine, making singing voices more natural.
Okay, guys, I have to admit something.
Totally. This is a safe space.
Yeah.
I do not hear a difference between Gumi and Gumi Solid on Vocaloid AI.
I don't think that's unpopular.
Can we look at the difference? Like, do they have both Gumi and Gumi Solid on there? And like, listen to the
Yes.
little bite.
夢を make waves そいつだって思いのままで夢を make waves そいつだって思いのままで
Kind of what is different,
little
but I
bit
would
of a
just think
difference.
more.
Yeah, she's a little more solid.
It's like I don't know. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, couldn't really the same thing be achieved by like
Yes and no with parameter pushing because I've tried to do like with her Synthfy bank with Gumi Synthfy. I've tried to push it more into like a solid-esque voice color. And the problem is that like you can only go so far with what she has. And
oh no,
then
God, we'll come back.
like with the vocal modes and the tension and breathiness, all of these like parameter curves, you can only go so far with that. It is really hard to push like another voice color out of a bank, even an AI bank. Like it can be somewhat achieved with Concat, but even then, a lot of people can still tell that you're like breaking it.
Can we like just like go back to like the days when like before AI?
Can we go back to Concat banks? I fucking love Concat banks.
I think Concat and AI banks should kiss.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
They can coexist, but like we haven't had a Concat bank for a commercial since in a hot minute.
Honestly, I don't really mind.
Hear me out.
let's hear
I
it.
think that the community has gotten to the point where a lot of people who were inspired by a lot of Vocaloid, like commercial Vocaloid names, now have the ability to kind of make their own in Open Utal. And at that point, that kind of adds up more of a charm to Open Utal. You have most of any and all synthesis on that engine. You have the AI banks and you have the standard banks. The only issue is that by having it be commercial, like you obviously don't get that premium feeling from the banks sometimes. Not to say that they're not developed well. No. I'm saying like because it's not commercial, people don't take it as seriously sometimes. Like unless they're in the vocosphere, you know? So I think that's something that I do like when we have commercial standard banks released. But at this current point in time, I think like it's safe to say I'm comfortable. You guys can disagree, but I'm comfortable with no longer having commercial standard banks because most of the community is already taking initiative to make some on their own. So it's just a matter of if we want to back them or not. And I think that's a lot more interesting, you know?
There's a lot of community-driven stuff specifically for like Utao and Open Utao. But something to remember is that we do have things like new engines on the horizon, so we can only hope that like maybe Magni or even Mikoto would like add like a commercial concat bank because we have not seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
I think the last Concat voice banks released were Miku SP at the gate. Yeah.
As it should. I'm joking. I'm sorry. That's
Wait, is NT Concat? Because then we have like NT2.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I love AI voices. I'm not one of those people who feels that they're like boring. I don't think that at all, clearly. Like, if you know me, clearly I don't think that. But I do find myself inevitably connecting more to non-AI voice banks. When it comes to tuning. Like, I am obsessed with Miku NT right now. And I love Vocaloid. But like way over Vocaloid AI. But I do think we also have a lot of concat things and a lot less to explore with concatenative synthesis. Like there's a lot less.
We still have a lot of avenues to explore with conscious end of synthesis, especially with C+V being developed as of recently. And there's like multiple rec lists for multiple different languages. We come closer to breaking Utao every single day.
I see. Then maybe I just don't really have like the full knowledge. I'm not really into like development. I just tune.
Hi, I am a developer for Project Coraline. I am second in command of Utah Group Project Coraline. While we are not currently working on a C+V voice bank, I personally have my own C+V English voice bank. I'm trying to work on how to make C+V multilingual at that, and I'm currently breaking multiple and like writing multiple rec lists for use for multiple languages at once. As a group, we've had our eyes on Tagalog and Tokipona for a while, so expect that from us.
Thank you.
Yay!
Speaking of engines and AI synthesis, I know this is kind of a current hot topic, mainly because of the news that we've been getting from it. But Synthesizer V Studio 2 has not just been announced, but we like have previews of it and have seen Connor Hua, CEO of Dreamtonics, I believe, go in detail about the new features of the new engine. We still don't have a full picture of it, but we definitely have enough to kind of start formulating our first impressions. So I do want to do like a little round table a bit about our first impressions of Synthesizer V Studio 2, starting with you, Classy, if you wouldn't mind going first.
She's cute. She's cute. Okay, like I like the new UI. I like the phone name timing. I think being able to what they're about to do on the screen right fucking now. Click the thingy. Come on, click it. There we go. Okay. I think that's cute. I like being able to edit the vocal modes. You know, be able to edit the a lot of it. Edit it, bitch. You know, if you've got the vocal mode, you can edit it now. I like it. I think they made a lot of good changes. I think I'm not sold on the UI. It reminds me a lot. I don't know what it reminds me of, but I don't know. I'm not sold on the UI yet, but she's cute. She gives me very much Mac OS vibes. It's running on a Mac, so that may be why, but like,
Yeah.
Might be this up at the top, yeah.
Yeah. If we're going in a round table, Freshie, would you like to state your opinions next, or should we skip you?
I can go. I agree with what Classy said. She's cute. I personally, I don't think this is even a hot take, but I personally do not see myself getting Synth V Studio 2 right away. Not because I think it's bad, but because I'm currently like, learning Voicona, learning Vocaloid 6, and until a voice bank that I really like gets on Synth V2, or there's like a game-changing feature that I could use for a voice bank I already have on Synth V1, I don't see myself getting it right away. However, I do really, really, really like a lot of the quality of life changes, specifically to auto pitch. I know for a lot of people, especially cover artists particularly, aren't a big fan of auto pitch because it kind of takes away of the, I guess for lack of a better phrase, the creativity from the user to kind of, draw the pitch themselves. But I think by adding a lot more interaction with the auto pitch, it will make it more interesting for not just producers, but also cover artists, because it generally will just make the process faster. And we already know that the engine is like, 300% faster in rendering speeds now. So I definitely think they're worrying more about kind of making your workflow faster, first and foremost. So that's probably, like, if there is manual mode, to me, it doesn't seem like there is, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said that there is, but maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Okay. So with that said, I do think that they may be leaning more into auto pitch for just a more streamlined process, but I'm not opposed to it because as I've been learning Vocaloid 6, that kind of makes tuning a lot more enjoyable because you can just kind of get things done quicker, get the sound you want quicker, and it allows you to kind of, if you really want to, push the voice bank, push the I don't know like most of the features, particularly with Synth V2, but I feel like from what I've seen and heard, a lot of it seems really inspired with like attack release presets in V5. Not exactly, but similar in terms of workflow style, but mainly just kind of retaking things until you get what you want, fine-tuning things until you get what you want. And I think that in and of itself is a huge improvement for Synth V, especially given the voice banks that typically do well. Like unless you're Kasane Tato, most of the voice banks that are good usually have good auto pitch anyways. Or that are popular, rather, usually have good auto pitches. Not to be mean to Tato. It's not that I hate her auto pitch or I think it's overused, but it just, having you have more of an interactive experience with it might solve that problem that I keep seeing with a lot of people when listening to Tato originals, that everyone's using her auto pitch. Whereas now, if people are using their auto pitch, they can adjust it a bit more. So I think that's really cool. But sorry, that was really winded.
You're good.
First question. But I personally like the direction Synth V2 is going. I just am not going to pretend to be a day one user. I won't. But I definitely will keep my eyes on it as it evolves going forward.
Yeah.
Jazzy, would you like to go next in the round table? I'm on the left here.
Sure. I am very, very excited. For basically the same reasons Classy said. I just think all of the new features are very useful and add a lot of customization. I also think the vocoder sounds incredible. I think the engine is a lot clearer and the consonants are a lot more pleasant to hear. I think Synth V in later versions, the consonants became a problem for me, both as a listener and a tuner. And everything felt a bit slurred and muffled. And out of the Synth V2 samples we heard, it does not seem that way. It sounds so clear, crystal clear even. It's spectacular. I also am mostly excited about the mouth parameter that Conru mentions. Firstly, because it's an absolutely insane idea. I don't know how he came up with that. Like to use the camera to record mouth data. That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. And it was genius. And the amount that it opens, I'm not really seeing people talk about it that much. That's like the one thing you can't really do with vocal synths that are like AI. I can't control their mouth. It's like the biggest limit in making them truly sound 100% realistic or 100% expressive. So having a parameter that's truly kind of just changing their mouth shape is the most useful thing ever, and single-handedly makes this engine worth it to me. I cannot believe that's a thing, and I can't believe he managed to come up with that idea, or whoever did. Absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So I'm excited just because of that. But I am one of the people very, very, very salty about the manual mode removal. Both for tuning purposes and also philosophy. I'm not going to force my philosophy on others because it's my opinion. So I don't mean it in terms of like everyone. I'm not saying everyone needs to tune like me, but I don't personally enjoy auto tuning. That does not mean I don't think it should exist, but I don't like being pushed to use it when previously on another software I had the possibility to not do it. For example, Chevio, I still used Chevio when auto tuning was forced on you, but Chevio upgraded and allowed you to get rid of auto tuning. It's very strange to see a program remove the ability to get rid of auto tuning.
Yeah.
It's absolutely backwards and flabbergasting.
Then
But
because
yeah, sorry.
no, you go.
Oh, it's okay. However, I'm not like fuming because it does seem that it's incredibly easy to draw over it. And I understand the attempt is probably to, streamline the program and make it easier for newcomers and less overwhelming. And I do understand that, but I don't know. I don't like, I think if we are trying to make workflow easier and they said they're worried about dynamics and control, removing the feature that gives full control to you easily is a choice that I do not understand. But I don't think it ruins the program due to how incredibly they have improved the workflow in the first place. Because if you've seen them like draw over the auto pitch and like just how the gridding works now, it's wonderful. Also, Conryu has a very pleasant personality. I like him. All topic, but we love Conryu. And you can tell that this has a lot of passion put into it. And that does matter because I feel like when someone is passionate about something, and is not just looking into it for dollar signs, etc., you're gonna get a good product out of it. And that's Synth. And I have high expectations and I'm hype. That's all. I love mouth.
That's a statement. Gravestone that says R.I.P. Jazzy, quote unquote. I love mouth.
By your Minecraft gravestone. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As for my opinions on Synth V2, I am a little on the edge in a negative way, specifically just like mostly because of that lack of manual mode. And like Jazzy said, like I'm not super angry about it, but it makes me question a lot, especially knowing like where Conryu came from. Like Conryu is behind more sampler. And like as a Synth R1 user, because yes, I still in fact do use R1 in 2025, because I am broke and I like Eleanor Forte. But even just comparing the aesthetics of R1, Synth V2, and Studio Pro, you can tell how Conryu has grown over the years and how all of this has become a lot more aesthetic. I really like the rounded corners. I like how this looks. One thing I would be a little bit more nitpicky about is the way that all of the panels open up on the side, which for phoneme timing, I'm really glad has been fixed so that the phoneme timing and the new timing panel is just with the rest of the parameters on that lower portion of the piano roll editor. It's really nice to see that there. I'm really excited for the mouth shape feature because that has been a thing that's been fairly exclusive to contrastive synthesis and was in more sampler with like more opening because you can raise or lower it, and it will affect like the tone and sort of quality of that. But to see it implemented in an AI bank in this way is not only unheard of, but this is pioneering. This is bleeding edge technology. I'm really excited to see that.
Me too.
I'm excited to see how a lot of these new banks will handle these parameters. How far can we push them? But not only that, I'm interested to see if the mouth parameter is a standard to the Synth 2 specific AI banks, or will it be able to work with any Synth AI bank?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that it can only work for voice banks with mouth data provided, because Conru said that during the recording process they were recorded. So I would assume a voice bank like Eleanor, for example, who's not been memoed on it and does not have that footage, probably cannot use it. But I'm also not sure. Maybe it transfers from someone else.
What I'm hoping for is that the mouth data provided during the recording of these specific voice banks was then used to generate a model that can be applied to any bank within the Synth 2 editor. Because you'll see that for auto pitch, even if a lot of it is bank specific and it relies heavily on that, Synth still relies on pitch generation from a mass of their vocalists. As far as I know, is that the editor itself is what is doing the pitch generation. I'm for the vocal mode stuff in specific, I know that may or may not be able to be carried across, banks exclusive to Synth, like Studio Pro or Synth 2. But what I'm more excited for, the most, is how, this ease of use, because this does start to look a lot more friendly for beginners, how this ease of use can widen the scope of the community even further. But at that point, I also start to worry, because when you make your engine more beginner friendly, you may be bringing in new people to your engine, but with the things of removing the manual mode, you start to alienate some of your producers and your diehard fans in the process. So that was definitely a choice. I hope they revert the choice of removing the manual mode, because I know that Jamie Page's tuning style and just the entirety of Flavorfully, I'm not sure who tunes everything, who writes everything, but a lot of stuff like that's gotten incredibly popular recently. Weather Girl is all pitch snapped. I know a few producers that either just rely heavily on auto pitch, or they'll pitch snap everything because they don't want to tune it. So removing the manual mode kind of alienates the tuners in this process, but it also alienates some of those producers that work with pitch snap. You are kind of shoving them to the side in favor for, ease of access. Again, I totally understand the process and the thinking behind that, but it's very important to keep your demographic in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, before we talk about the other news that we have with Synth Studio 2, is that part of why I'm personally not really concerned with launch Synth Studio 2 is because they can always add some of these changes. However, for people who do care about manual mode, Synth Studio 1's not going anywhere. And on top of that, it's not everyone needs Synth Studio 2 right away. So I think I want to see how the waters will be when Synth Studio 2 makes a splash before I start worrying about who it's not serving. Because I think, very honestly put, most vocal synth companies, while the culture is carried by the fandoms, the profit is not. And that's all I'm gonna say about that because I don't want to go any deeper than that. But I will say that I think that Vocalo culture will not be jeopardized, both Western and globally, if Synth V Studio 2 doesn't have pitch snap. However, I do think it's a loss on that end because, like you said, it does let some of us as tuners or producers, whatever spot we occupy in the Vocalo fandom, it does let some of us down, and it sucks. But I do think that we already have other avenues and other options to go to, so I think we'll be fine. Like in the long run, I think it'll be fine. It'll just kind of be like, a little bit of a ripping off a band-aid sort of pain, not really like a perfect metaphor, but in terms of like pain, it'll only sting for like a little and then we'll kind of move on. But I do hope they add manual mode because a lot of people, especially tuners, having manual mode will feel a lot more comfortable and they'll be able to take advantage of the newer features like the mouse feature, the timing parameter that's new to Synth V2 that's more than likely already better than the timing parameter we have in Synth V1. I don't even think that's a debate. Like I don't even need to know what it looks like. Yeah. Any sort of change to that timing parameter is going to be a good step forward.
Yes. It's like Chevio's.
Like Chevio's.
Oh,
which is the best timing parameter ever made.
Great. Which is the best engine ever made. Oh, who said what? Anyways. But I do want to shift over to Eclipse Sounds for a minute because they're, I think, the first ones to really hop on this like this NAMM train that Synth V is like doing right now. There's a NAMM event going on, so that's how we got this announcement. But because of that, Eclipse Sounds is also attending and they're debuting their next 2 voice banks. So we can listen to them right now.
De quanto siegano roeschilen, nie byłby posłany na ziemię. Pensare che viene morsata e data un che si templosca la terra.
As you can tell from just, this short snippet alone, Rice Deity did the animation for this, and I'm so excited to see companies reaching out more into the fandom space, as per usual, like what happened with Voiceona and Coracle reaching out to what's-her-face to record for Selena. I'm so sorry. Octavia. I literally forgot her name. Because all I associate her with now is Selena, because we gotta keep an eye out for Selena. But anyway, I'm so excited to see the community involved with production.
Me too.
Yeah. Also, Jazz, you can put on the profile video with.
Profile video?
Yeah.
So everybody meet Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
He's hot.
My own Chroma series. I'm gonna be real. I'm a little confused. So, like, is it supposed to be like a rainbow colored gaming they got going on?
From what we've seen so far, yes.
So
Right.
they all represent a color. Their code names on the like their NAMM stuff are Eclipsed Red and Eclipsed Violet.
Okay, cute.
Yeah, so we're all meant to be a rainbow.
Yes.
Nice.
Also, I'm just very excited to get my hands on a voice in this genre because I've been dying for an AI voice bank that
A lot of people have.
sounds like this. Yeah, literally, it's like the book requested.
Scratch.
Like, this is what I've been wanting since I was like 16, and it's here. It sounds so good. Like, I'm sick. I'm so excited.
And we can pull up the NAMM video demonstration
Oh
on
no.
Havoc. Yeah. Because if you're just referring to it as NAM, people might think you're talking about Vietnam. So
No, that's the other one. Believe me, I've done my due diligence.
Something you say or something you do, a taste of the divine. You've got my body, flesh and bone, yeah. The sky above, the earth below. Raise me up again. Take me past the edge. I want to see the other side.
We gotta pull off the heist, you know, like how people stole Breath of the Wild.
As someone who's not, let me put a disclaimer out there. As someone who is not into opera, much less an operatic singer, all I'm going to say is if Eclipse Sounds can pull this voice bank off, it doesn't matter what the general usage will be. If they can make a good operatic vocalist, that'd be huge. You know, like not like huge as in popular, that'd be nice too, but huge as in like that is such a step in the right direction to really getting into these music genres that would better help get, like, for lack of a better word, like real vocalists, like people who actually sing, to be intrigued by Vocaloid. Because for a lot of people, even today, Vocaloid still is just like that, or like not Vocaloid, but vocal synths as a whole is still just kind of like that cartoonish, like, you know, VST. But like when you actually kind of like have a nice representation of a genre, that may actually allow people to take it more seriously, like as outsiders, but then also people who are within the space to start branching out to other sides of music, both producer, cover artists, etc. You know, it has opened so many doors. So like if they can nail this, which I hope they do, that would be amazing. I'm nothing but high hopes for this bank.
To be completely fair, we have seen operatic banks in the past. Hello, Prima. Hello, Tonio. But those were conscientive banks. I'm interested to see how the AI auto pitch will handle in this regard. I know there's already like something that we're all gonna see floating around in terms to how the AI auto pitch is handling operatic notes and operatic singing as a whole. But I feel like we have grown a lot since the days of Tonio and Prima, which is Vocaloid 3, by the way.
Damn.
So we definitely have a lot more resources at our hands in order to nail this down perfectly. I don't really have any doubt in my mind that Eclipse Sounds could really like mess up an operatic bank too much, because the formula is there. Is there a use case for it? Not necessarily, but who gives a shit? Everybody was putting Prima on pop music back in the V3 days anyway. Nobody really cares.
It's a use for it regardless, because what other, like, if you want opera, you have this option now. You know, like maybe the average like user of vocal synths probably wouldn't have it, but for those people who are into opera, both in and out of the sphere, have an option. Modern option of that.
This is a niche within a niche, and I'm excited to see it explored.
Yes.
And
agree.
I'm
also excited.
Ooh. This is a bank that I kind of want to toy around with and see how far can I push this away from its intended genre.
Yeah. Oh, if you want, while you're talking, I'm sorry.
Queries. I'm very, very excited for them. Also, the design looks like it's about to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, I wonder if people will, people who don't normally indulge in opera, it doesn't always have to be pure opera. People can merge opera with other genres. Like there's, sorry, I'm eater.
No worries. I mean, you're always eating. You're always
True. I know. But there's people who merge EDM and opera. There's people who merge rap and opera. There's people who merge a lot of things. So it's like I wonder if big producers will test their production skills and merge opera with something else. And I could see that as the most realistic thing. And then it could create a niche inside a niche inside of a niche where people are making vocal synth opera merge music. And that sounds fun.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hype on that aspect. And also from a tech perspective, like this is crazy.
She's about to be the first AI voice bank to unironically be able to hit the notes in Mesmerizer. I'm joking. Definitely not the first, but definitely will do pretty well in that. I also think like it's important to note that this may or may not be. I don't know if I want to say native Spanish voice bank, but considering that it's opera and most operas and like the romantic languages, I think it's safe to assume that Spanish will be a key part of this. So like that gives us our second Spanish voice bank, kind of. If you want to count Staros as the first, technically Staros is more of an English bank first. But Staros did kind of implement Spanish, whereas Galanaya just seems to kind of build off of that. So depending on how you look at it, may change first or second, Spanish vocalist first into the AI, but certainly will be a good stepping stone in the right direction towards further development of Spanish in Synthesizer V Studio 2, I guess. I don't know if they'll apply any Spanish data they get for 2 into 1. I assume not, but definitely it's a step in the right direction for Spanish, giving like more data for the engine to work with.
For sure.
Hopefully it's better. I know for a lot of native Spanish speakers in the community, a lot of them weren't too pleased with the Spanish that Saros provided, but I'm not shocked because Saros' Spanish experience isn't, I don't say isn't good, but like it's one of those things where they're not a native Spanish speaker. They're bilingual. They grew up with English and Spanish, so it's just kind of like their Spanish is not going to be, I guess, a good flagship for Spanish as a whole. So maybe it'll be different with Galanaya. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I'm very excited for the voice bank and the way it will, like you said, Jazzy, kind of push technology into a direction that we normally don't see it go into. Because whenever someone sees technology, they just assume pop, EDM and such. But they hardly ever revisit these older sounding genres. And I think it's nice to kind of see that in 2025.
Yeah. It is.
I think it's
Also very... Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna write off of the language support for a minute and just say I think it's really good that you mention like native Spanish support, or at least the sound of a native Spanish speaker rather than someone who grew up speaking both languages, for like to have the voice of someone who speaks primarily Spanish rather than someone who would speak primarily English in a Spanish bank will change the accent so much more, because there are so many different versions of Spanish. You have like people from Venezuela and Puerto Rico speak different Spanish than like Catalan Spanish from like actual Spain. There are different sounds involved, and I'm really curious to see which are in Galanaya, because at that point you can also pull a little bit of phoneme trickery in order to morph it into Italian. An Italian opera is kind of key, or at least having like the ability to do Italian for an operatic bank. Like I kind of want to hear Galanaya on Bella Ciao.
Oh, yes. There's don't we have a preview of not that exact song? I don't know if it's a preview of that song, but I do know we have a preview of Galanaya up there.
We have a preview of Galanaya, but it is in Spanish.
Yes.
It's also very off topic. I love that they explain how to say her name with synth phonemes.
It's definitely
They did that with Havoc too.
It's definitely after the Solaria, Saros, Asterion, Nil stuff, because a lot of people want to know.
Thank you, Celestra. Thank you, Oomph. Something I would like to note about both Galanaya and Havoc's demos is that they are it looks like they are both being demoed on Synth V2. So we have no confirmation about whether or not these would be exclusive for Synth V2 or if they would be available for use in Synth V1.
I'm almost certain because there actually, I think, funny enough, might be an exception to that, but not in the way that we would think. But with Galanaya and Havoc, I definitely think are Synth V2 exclusives, like for sure. Because if that weren't the case, they probably would have showcased one of them sooner and then the other one at NAMM, but they didn't. So I'm assuming because they're paired up with Dreamtonics, they would more than likely be for Synth V2. However, there is a release that we do know is confirmed for Synth V and will have an update for Synth V2, and I think that's Miki and Kyoteru. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm almost certain they're releasing Synth on Synth V, and then are kind of going to go through a similar process that Kevin and the others went through, where they will have a Synth V2 port. But I'm not sure if that applies to all the banks or just a select few. We'll just have to see. But I know Kyoteru and Miki are definitely going to be released on Synth V1, unless they change their minds, which honestly I'm completely fine with. But I know for a lot of people, if we can get them on Synth V1, guarantee the fact that you'll have manual mode with them, great. So we'll just have to see. But I'm certainly excited for Eclipse Sounds. I feel like this is a strong way to start off their new series. And I'm happy that they're being more daring. They're being more daring. I mean, they always have been, but they're definitely being more daring. Because at least, like, with the Starry Court series, you know, you had Solaria, you had Asterion, you had Saros, you had Nil, and all of them filled, like, these different, like, voice types in terms of, like, range, like, pitch, and also style. But generally, like, range was kind of what I felt like was at its core of Starry Court. Whereas the Tone Chroma series, it seems that they're really going for these genre-specific stuff, which in my humble opinion, unless your voice bank is more character-oriented, if you can hone in on just one genre and do that genre well, you are worthwhile. Like, you are a worthwhile purchase, because you may not be versatile, but at least you can do the thing that you were said to do, you know? I don't want to throw shade, so I'm going to try to keep it minimum. But there are a few banks that struggle to develop an identity outside of their character, outside of their name. And that's because they don't have a particular thing that they're strong at. They're just well-rounded. And that's a good trait to have. But we have so many that it helps to have that specific thing, you know? But it is a double-edged sword. It can narrow down the pool of who would want it. But definitely the people who have it will not regret it. And that's what you want. You want to make sure the people who do get your product aren't regretting it, you know? So... yeah.
Speaking of NAMM, because I believe like NAMM is just starting, but many people have been visiting the booth already. I did find a short thread that details some things more specific to Havoc and Galanaya, which we're saying that there are vocal modes available. Havoc's Screamo is a vocal mode. Both vocals have at least one vocal mode that's less genre specific, but they still sound like distinct hard rock and operatic banks. And like I did say, vocals are being demonstrated using Synth Studio 2. We don't know what's going on with whether or not they're going to be a Synth 2 exclusive release or not. So this is just an update on information that I was able to find while Freshie was yapping.
Yes. I'm so excited about the Screamo.
Same here.
Yeah, no.
I'm getting him so quickly.
No, you totally should, because, like, again, like, these banks I just know are going to be good. Like, they don't need to be, like, I don't know how, like, they'll stand the test of time, but definitely as, like, a milestone, that'd be great. You know, specifically for AI synthesis. Like, again, we've seen a lot of, like, standard banks. I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce the long C name
Just
for it,
say
but Concat. Oh,
Concat.
standard. Standard sounds swaggier. I'm joking. But with Concat banks, I do think that we've tried testing more genre-specific vocalists, but it never fully works because they couldn't properly, like, garner the entire, like, I guess for lack of a better word, energy of the genres that they were targeting. Some better than others, right? But generally speaking, I think that's what AI synthesis does better, and that's where I think more time should be put into when like directing a voice provider is kind of honing in on that genre, on that style. Because if anything, now if you attach a character to it, you have a stronger personality because they aren't just Utaite on a vocal synth. No shade to Utaites, by the way. Let me
No
just
shade to Octavia and Selena.
no, not even that's not even like a thing on Selena. I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like, if Teto wasn't Teto and Teto was someone else, you know, like it feels like to me, Teto would be good, but they wouldn't have that thing that makes them distinctly them. Like, let's use like someone like Henri, for example. Henri is like definitely put into a genre. And like, yes, it's very versatile, but it's definitely put into a genre, specifically like with bedroom pop and such, that works for her, or rock. And that's kind of, that allows her personality to be expanded more as a character vocalist. So in other words, when you're guiding and directing your voice providers into a specific style, and you're trying to like establish a character, that just makes the character stronger. Because again, they're not just a person who is singing, they're a person who sings who has a passion for this specific style. You know, like it makes them feel more real. Chisei jump scare scared the shit out of me. I thought my speak had an arrow or something. Yeah, like I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for Eclipse Sounds and just for any of the other companies. I mean, we haven't heard anything from AO if they're going to jump on to Synth V2. I can only assume yes, but we have to see because I know they have plans for at least Synth V, right? But we'll just have to see what happens going forward with the engines. But I'm just excited. I think 2025 is going to be a pretty decent year for vocal synths, especially because like Miku 6 and stuff, but like overall it's going to be really good for vocal synths.
I would be curious about whatever the hell AO would release on Synth V2.
No.
So this concludes our topics for today. Should we give our farewell, or do we have anything else to say off the script?
Girl boss Connor Vaughn.
Girl boss under the wall.
Off the script. Gynoid, if you can hear me, please. All right. We need an update.
They ain't coming back, girl.
No. I can't. Now with this negative energy, they're not coming back, okay? I'm in positive energy. All right. Gynoid, if you can hear me, you can do the funniest thing ever. You can make a He-Man Mikoto on Synthesizer V Studio Pro 2, okay? You can,
girl.
Did you take your break?
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, okay? Their voice provider already moved on to number 7.
No.
Flower has D-Flower is on Chevio, and Xinhua is somewhere in a ditch dead.
No. Please.
I don't know Garner went.
You know, if number seven, I don't know who's behind you, but number 7, if you could hear me, please jump to an engine I use that isn't OpenUTAO, okay? I need new banks, okay?
We can switch your PNG to the Hinas.
Yeah, no, something. Please. I'm begging, okay? Or like if anyone else, if anyone can hear me, please make another commercial twin vocalist pairing, okay? I love Leonard. I love Anon and Kanon. I love Meika Hime and Mikoto. This is not at all relevant to the podcast. I'm so sorry. But like, I love the twin vocalist. So please, someone add another twin pairing to AI synthesis that isn't the Kotono has. Please and thank you.
Freshie, I've been ruminating on your statements, and I may send them to somebody. Who knows? But
Can I add one thing? Yes, we're just stating delusional things we want for AIs. Where is Hippie on Synth V2? Where is... And why has it not been announced yet?
Where is Hippie on vocal synths? Period.
Now, where's
like
Hippie? Where is she?
he's doing things. It's not on the engine.
Okay, guys,
Yes.
here's mine. We have Henri. We have Henri Arcane. Where's Henri 3?
Henri 3. Honestly, I feel like it's more likely than we think.
I can't wait for
With Synth V2 being announced, yeah, Henri 3 is more likely than
I
writing.
swear to God, Henri 3 would be the funniest fucking.
No, I'm gonna go higher than that. I'm gonna go higher than that. I think it would be really fucking funny if they open up Symphony 2 with an Andy release, because I know they're entertaining the idea. I don't know if they'll go through with it, but I know the idea is there. So we'll have to see. Maybe Andy and Henri will be the twins. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? Delusional. How delusional can I be right now? I don't know if I can say any delusional things without possibly breaking an NDA. So my delusion is that I want Mikoto Studio in my hands.
Really? Well, good. Any delusional takes from you, Kazi? Anything you want to put out into the universe in hopes of it coming back to you?
Hi, Conor. My DMs are open.
I'm frowning. You can't see it, but just know it's a frown.
No. I changed my delusional thing. We have to cut out the one thing. We have to cut out the part about the NDA. My delusional thing. Hi Celestri. I know that you have me oomphed on TikTok. My DMs are always open. Fucking say something. Hi.
That's crazy.
Literally oomphed with Celestri on TikTok.
You win. You win. I thought what I was saying with you win, girl. You win. Yeah. I can't. I'm like genuinely gagged. All right.
Okay. If chat wants proof, I can and I will go screenshot.
No.
TikTok for now.
We believe you, girl. But on our delusional takes, I would like to say this is B Spectre signing out.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had a wonderful January, and we'll see you guys in February. Because we're going to try doing monthly now. So we'll see you in February, everyone.
We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
That was fun. We did good.